What's going on, bro, sis, everybody? Welcome to this video. Thank you so much for clicking and engaging with me today. I wanted to talk about this idea of now that we're in quarantine, there's kind of this pressure like to be more productive, to post more, to share more, to create more, which is a lot. Honestly, it can be like a lot. It's not necessarily like a really bad thing. It's not necessarily like a great thing either to feel that now you don't have really any excuse, right? You don't have any excuse not to make the things, to do the things that you said like you didn't have time for. And there's like a lot of pressure on you to like make as much as you can, like build something like from the ground up by the end of this quarantine, because by the end of this quarantine you're gonna have like that 100K following or the next Amazon or whatever the fuck. And I'm here to give you a reality check that you can take your time still. We still have the rest of 2020 and you don't have to rush yourself to make something great. You don't have to put all this pressure on yourself to like keep creating, to push yourself to like, I don't know, break barriers and every single day, because that's the fastest way to burn out. And I know this because I've done this many times, especially like during this quarantine. I really pushed myself. I put that pressure on myself to film as much as possible, to edit as much as possible, to keep learning every single day. And like that in itself doesn't sound super bad, but it does get toxic when you're staying up from like 8 to 3 in the morning, and after 3 in the morning you still feel like you didn't do enough. And looking back, like it does get a little toxic too, because all of the things you make, it's like you don't even want to look at now, because if you look at it you're just gonna get this big headache and think like, oh, like I could have done this or I should have done this, and it's a mess, right? And I feel that creating and sharing what you want to share with the world, right? It should be something fun. It should be something that you enjoy, something that you like. It should be authentic. It should be you. It should be natural. It should come easy. And not necessarily that it should come easy every single time, because there will be times where you do have to break those barriers, but to do it at like an insane speed and thinking that by the end of this quarantine you're gonna have it all is just not a great mindset. I think we forget about patience so much of the time that, like, you know, you still have all of 2020 to build whatever the fuck it is that you want to build, to make the things you want to make. Like, just enjoy the journey of doing it, because when you get to the destination, like, isn't that the most, I don't know, mundane and boring part? Like, that's where you start to slow down and like lose all your inspiration. And of course there's always like somewhere to go and more things to learn, but what's the rush to get to the destination? And don't you want to be making the stuff that you make like to feel good and to be something that is enjoyable for you, because that's what it was always supposed to be? And why lose sight of that? Like, don't you want it to be something that like speaks to others, and not that it just speaks to others, but it speaks to yourself, and you like it, just be proud of what you made and not have it just be like this artificial bullshit that you're not even inspired by, and like you can't even watch yourself because God, it's just not enjoyable. So I don't know, I guess I wanted to speak to that for those of you who are feeling that way. You're not alone. I feel that way like every single day. I feel a lot of pressure to be my most productive self ever. And as much as I want to be like this insanely productive person, I have to recognize my limits and recognize that I can only make so much, and I can only break so many barriers within one day, and trying to do that every single day is so exhausting. And you know, I plan on being here for a long time because I wash my fucking hands. So if you do too, like, there's no rush to the end goal. There's just no rush. So I don't know, I guess I just want to end it with, make the things that you want to make for you. You don't need to put all this pressure on yourself to create something like insane. You don't need to have like all of it by the end of this month or like 2 months. You don't don't expect to have it all. Just enjoy what it is that you've been wanting to do and what it is that you've been wanting to share, and maybe not be so focused on the not be so focused on the short term and look more at the long term. The stuff I want to make, I want it to have an impact on people, and I want it to be something that stands for a while. So I'm not in a rush to make things, but I'm not going to stop myself with fear from posting. So I don't know, there's always a balance to it. I'm just saying that you don't need to put all this insane amount of pressure on yourself to do it. Don't let the expectations of others, or I don't know, even other YouTubers or whoever the fuck, like, tell you what to do with your life, or everything you have to make, because you don't have to do anything that you don't want to do at the end of the day. It's your life. Do whatever the fuck makes you happy. Like, that's all that matters, right? So with that, I hope that I was able to reach some of you, and that you feel a little more relaxed with yourself now, and that you continue to make things that inspire you, that fill you up, and things that you care about. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video.